Hey guys, and welcome back to Fleetyards Mission Briefing Live, I guess. Commander's here with me. So today, as always, we're going to be looking at one of the mighty plethora of starships out there that are available in the sci-fi universe, sci-fi genre. Lots of great stuff, and we got something very cool this week.
Yes.
And what is it this week?
Well, as you guys can see on the screen right now, it's the big oil rig Nostromo from the original Aliens film, and this is what we saw in the movie. What do you think, Stuart?
It's not very impressive. I don't know, it's just, it looks odd.
Let's go to the next picture, Stuart.
Alright, let's do that.
See, that's a bit more of a clue, because that first picture was a ruse, Stuart. Because this is sort of a two-part, in a sense. There's the Nostromo actual ship, and there's the refinery.
Yeah,
but I'm sure you knew that.
No, I thought there was just a ship.
See, that's what I thought originally, but I've been told off by several fans out there when I call them the same thing. So this is a hint towards the front of the ship, the high detail model. For the next picture, this is a beautiful 3D model.
That's better.
That's the actual Nostromo. Stuart, what do you think? And since you didn't realize it was actually from the movie, first reaction, you're actually seeing the actual ship.
What do you mean I didn't think it was from the movie? I thought it was from the movie.
No, I mean, like, you thought it was the oil tanker as well. This is the actual ship. So what do you think of just this ship as a...
Well, this is what I thought the Nostromo was, so yeah.
Okay, perfect. So what do you think then?
I think it's cool. I think it's a neat looking ship. Again, going back to the whole blocky kind of gray color, but that's fine, because that's general sci-fi.
It's called, like, realistic sci-fi.
Mm-hmm.
Like, pushing of the future of today.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never knew it was this ship, even when they did land it. I guess I didn't put two and two together. It's a beautiful 3D model made, which I try to light quite nicely. It's difficult to light a purely grey object.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of things going on, a lot of pieces, and some bits confuse me. But let's go through some.
Looks a little bit like Spaceball 1 with the shapes you got going on.
A little bit.
So these things are kind of odd. The vent things on the engines, whatever they are.
Yeah, I don't understand that. That's
the way they angle down.
Big confusion part. I don't know if that's a piece coming off, if that's trying to show it's damaged, if it articulates. I don't know.
I wouldn't say damage because they're both the same.
Yes.
But yeah, that's really weird.
And this is a, I guess, a crew transport to haul. So basically a monster truck, isn't it, of the space lanes?
Yeah, I guess. I love the antennas everywhere. As usual, we see that with a lot of stuff on Fleetyards. These ones that coming down the side are kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Not sure what's going on there. And this top part, I mean, is that like an extra engine module?
Obviously, reminiscences of the Miranda class from Star Trek their torpedo pod. At least it gives them 3 dimensions, but I don't know. I think we'll find out in later images. So next picture, Stuart.
Ooh.
Scale. I didn't ask about scale. Darn it, we're rusty. Stuart, what do you think the scale is? And then, does this surprise you?
Yes, this surprises me a great deal.
And this is the online scale reference to, I think it's about 300 or like 280 to 320 meters. What do you think?
It's bigger than I expected. I would have said it's probably the size of the secondary hull of the Constitution class. I wouldn't have expected it to be this big.
Okay.
Pretty impressive looking though. Very sturdy and stocky compared to the Constitution class. Yeah.
Well, some fans obviously do say Star Trek is the exception through all this. So they have ships that are actually very small, which is advanced. They're one of the most advanced sci-fis I think out there. This ship has no FTL. You know, it has these rocket boosters. It goes sublight, and they use cryo sleep things to let them live long journeys. So this is an extension of the, I guess, chemical fuel rocket days, whereas the Constitution class is the future. But yeah, certainly bigger than I thought, and it's difficult to relate to the sizes because you can imagine the hull is much thicker, the corridors are much thicker. I can't imagine you'd have the same living space as the Connie, and that's got quite a lot. But it's huge.
Yeah. Well, this is a cargo ship, yes?
Yes.
Like for transporting ore or whatever?
Well, again, it's carrying the automatic oil refinery, which is doing its job, and this is the one that's carrying it. I assume it has some function as well, but I don't know if it's specifically for that purpose.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's surprising as the scale for me.
It's cool, though.
It is very cool. Next.
Next.
Ooh,
This definitely surprised me.
Yes.
It's big.
Yeah, I did not expect it to be that big at all. The Nostromo was always one that's been smaller in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
So now I got to rethink everything when I watch the movie.
Context with scale is so important.
Yes.
Because definitely in comparison to the big ship, it's small. But how big is a refinery? I mean, how many, billions of grams of ore is it going through? Pretty incredible.
Yeah, yeah. Just these things here on the front of the engines are so oddly placed in such a
Yeah.
weird angle. It's almost like they don't work properly. They should be shifted up.
Yeah, I trust the model list. It's a beautiful model. I doubt it. Invent those. I think I've got a picture of a physical model somewhere here, but we'll have to find that later.
There's these ones here too at the back. Well,
Oh,
in
yeah.
the middle that have the same kind of angle, just facing backwards.
Thrusters,
maybe. Yeah, that's what I was thinking for landing, or hovering.
That's interesting.
Huh. Yeah, this is. I love the flaring on the back of the engines. They look.
Yes.
They almost remind me of Macross or Robotech. The bottom of the feet.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I like how it is very flat, but it's got a good aesthetic 3D to it. Like it's not a plain brick. The way they detailed it is actually quite attractive in its own way.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I mean, honestly, it could have just been a brick, but it's actually quite an interestingly 3-dimensional shape. And actually, the bits they've added, the way it's proportioned, actually, it's quite aesthetically pleasing in its own way. It's not just a flying brick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's got some uniqueness here and some kind of sleekness, as you will say.
It's like it is sort of a nice. It's not the first of the line. It's had a few iterations, but I would love to see a deck plan of this because I really can't visualize it.
No.
And the crew was 10 max.
Yeah.
And they weren't, lacking of space. But I don't know.
It looks like there's a lot of machinery that's required to operate this thing.
Yes.
So
yeah, cool.
Let's go to the next picture. Oh, see, this is impressive. Lots of engine modules and nozzles back
I
there.
love he modelled it all.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even on the top, that top part was, like I said, maybe a engine module.
Beastie is what I'd use. A lot of power.
I love how it's got the flaps that I assume would close over the nozzles to slow it down.
That's interesting.
Yeah. Wow.
Huh. I wonder why, though, they got the sort of more circular shape, which is replicated on the top, but then there's larger elements. Maybe it was designed to work without the two end pods, and then you can add them. That's why the shapes don't exactly match. It's like they're separate pods, but inside the pods have the extra engines. So it's like for long haul missions they would attach those extra pods. Maybe
makes sense. Additional fuel, more thrust.
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
It's a lot of engines though. Wow.
Yeah, I'd say. Very, very impressive.
Yeah.
Next shot is this, from the back, but underneath.
Do you like the render?
Yeah, fantastic. And again, we got these odd-shaped little vents on the engines that point down at a weird angle. But yeah, I think those might be just for thrust, like holding the ship up on an atmosphere.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Can you see there's also another set of potential thrusters at the front of the ship? I wonder why.
Well, that would probably be when it's in orbit to thrust those.
Yeah.
Get the nose up and then hit the back engines.
That makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's all about entry and re-entry. So if you got the last little bit of push.
Yeah. So these would slow you down on entry. The big ones that are faced audibly would slow you down, and then to take off, you just engage the back ones, start moving, and then hit the front ones at the front there, and just get your nose up and get yourself out of the atmosphere. Maybe.
That's really cool. I wish that the first movie had some more visual fidelity to be able to show this in more operation. Because I mean, if this is the correct, if this is as accurate as we think it is, then that's awesome parts of design. Love it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cool. Wow.
Yeah, so here we got the front with all the detail. The detail on this is pretty awesome, actually. Lots of antenna arrays, lots of, I would assume, communication and whatever arrays.
Mm-hmm.
They still look odd.
The pods, they don't.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't understand, but anyway. Now, what intrigues me is that this front component that sticks out. Does that feel like the bridge to you?
Not necessarily, but it would make sense. I mean, there's kind of like windows on the side there that you can see. So, yeah. I don't know. The bridge always up front and center is kind of, it makes sense in a way, but at the same time, you don't really need that. I don't think in a spaceship.
Well, I think most sci-fis use windows.
Yeah,
That's fair to say.
Yeah.
And so if a window is middle of the ship, it's kind of not seeable out of the window. So having it, like I'm visualizing it's in the middle of those two components, them to block asteroids or whatever, so it gives them some protection, but you can still see out of them. And then these big chunks are all machinery and armor and I don't know.
Makes you wonder what these big protrusions at the front are. Probably not weapons, but
Yeah, that's a good. I mean, have we ever seen a ship in Aliens film? Any Aliens film fire ship-to-ship weapons?
I don't think so.
I don't think we have either. Huh.
I mean, this one is obviously a movable antenna array, possibly for the planet, to face the planet.
Yeah, maybe a short-range sensor or communications, and the big one could be like a long-range subspace. But again, the technology ages very strange in Alien because the first film is the 70s. Was it 70s?
Yeah.
Yeah, 70s, and it is very dated. It still looks cool. And Aliens, more advanced but in a different way.
Yeah, more military.
Alien 3 obviously is a prison. We don't get any sense of technology. Alien 4 is a future. That's not part of the equation, and so it's kind of difficult to work out the technology level of these time. But then Prometheus, obviously the prequels, have loads more technology. They have holograms. Still no FTL though. I guess that's their one big weakness. Cool.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, I love the detailing on this model.
That's a great view of it. That it looks. Yeah, it's a great view.
Yeah. Ooh, speaking of detailing, this one's got more detailing.
And again, fan model disclaimers it might not be 100% accurate, but there's some good reference to this ship out there, so I'm pretty inclined to believe it. Wow. And look at that, look at the little pincers on the bottom dish. Yeah. That's the amount of detail they put in. Beautiful. Wow.
Yeah. Wonder if this other big protrusion is more like a radar assembly, some kind of radar.
Ooh, I like that.
Or because like in jets they have the thing in the nose cone, but that would make sense to have that out front to kind of be scanning.
Because the technology in this ship is relating more to that of the 70s. They didn't think that far ahead. It's great though.
Yeah,
brilliant.
Love that detail. Yeah, here you zoomed in on this odd piece
thing. I mean, it's built for space, so therefore structural doesn't always matter exactly.
Yeah.
But again, a modeler's interpretation of it. Yeah.
I'm inclined to think it's some kind of thruster.
Yeah.
Maybe just for maneuverability, even just fire one of them to kind of rotate the ship.
Yeah.
They should be like maneuverable and like articulated at some point where they can slide and change direction. I think that'd be cool.
Or maybe articulation was a bit too advanced. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I'd love to know what they are.
Yeah.
Wow! Look at that pod.
Wow. Again, here it looks like it's got fluorescent lighting on it.
Yeah, I don't know what that is. Sorry, guys.
That's okay. It looks cool. Looks like Tron.
It does. I like Tron.
Yeah. Don't know what all this would be. Like, these don't look like intakes of any kind, but they're recessed, which is interesting. And we know there's engines on the back of that, so.
Just vents, maybe.
Yeah, they don't look like that though. I mean, the ones that go in that odd angle at the side are more vent-like, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they certainly look more like the torpedoes from. Well, to be fair, even the internal detail is very similar to the torpedoes on the Enterprise refit, but they're not.
No.
Cool though.
Yeah.
And again, wonderful model. I wonder how long it took to build.
Next, we got a detail from the top. This is the top pod module from the rear.
Is that intake? Maybe it's designed to spin. They just couldn't realize it.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so at all. I mean, I know the big piping that goes up and out and back down almost looks like a handle.
Yeah.
I just don't know why that would be. Maybe to bleed off heat.
Yeah.
Some kind of cooling system.
I mean, that is an engine pod, so...
Yeah.
And maybe those front two pods that we are confused about, they are needed to throw out the excess fumes of when the engines ignite. Maybe that's the equivalent. Well, I mean, we might be thinking too much about this. I remember that in the movie, I'm pretty sure when they like launch from the ground, a lot of smoke and stuff comes out of effect. They could just be the engines, or it could be also gases. I'm not sure. Hell of a ship to land, though.
Yeah.
Actually, it gives me new respect for how strong the legs are.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very chunky.
That's nice on side view.
Yeah, next shot is kind of an underside view, 3/4. Wow. It almost reminds me like it could fit in the original Battlestar Galactica fleet. Because part of the Colonial fleet even designed something like the Battlestar.
Yeah, I can see it, actually. Get a slightly different paint scheme and give some turrets, and yeah, this could totally be a Battlestar freighter frigate. Yeah, I just love those, how many points come out with that front one and the side ones, and it's trying to represent advancement, but it kind of actually says the opposite, ironically. Because in the future you wouldn't need, that's why the TOS colony is so advanced, because it does all its functions pretty much inside the hull. The one exception is the deflector dish, and it's also doing things externally.
Yeah.
But yeah, very cool.
Ooh.
Filming miniature. The aft view.
Now this is interesting because it's missing the details on the inside of those engine things.
Or it's fairer to say our model has added details.
These are at the right angle, those odd pieces on the side. So that makes...
Yeah. Big model.
It is a big model.
Wasn't used enough in the show, I don't think.
No, I agree.
Cool.
But yeah, there's like less detail on this, I think.
Oh yeah, yeah. But again, if you couldn't see them in the show or movie, then it makes kind of sense to
embellish it a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That might be the end of them.
That is the last one. Yeah.
That's the last one. So let's end on the first picture. Well, it's not in the first, but it's in the first 3/4 picture, because that's what the actual ship looks like. So, Stuart, closing thoughts on this actual Nostromo, not the refinery, because that's a whole different ball game, and it's just basically 4 skyscrapers with balls on the bottom.
Like I said, I was surprised by the size. I need to go back and watch the movie again, knowing the scale of it.
You say that a lot.
I do.
It's good.
I do. Well, yeah, because I would never have expected it to be that big, especially with the amount of crew and stuff that it had.
And that's what the online sources tell me. These sorts of ones also without a real model, as we do in some Fleetyards episodes. The scale is based on what they say online, and that's the official. So, yeah, I would have said it was, half the size, quarter the size, maybe? But then to carry such a huge refinery...
I didn't know it carried the refinery.
Yeah.
I never got that feel from the movie.
Oh, yeah. It's like towing it. Then it detaches and then goes down to the planet.
Huh.
Yeah, it doesn't show it in the movie properly. I mean, it probably sort of does, but it's not clear enough for us.
Yes.
Obviously.
So there you go. What are your closing thoughts?
I really like it, actually. This model, I really, really like this model. I don't think I was sold as much on it until I got to really play with it in 3D. And to light it is really a challenge, but it's got a lot of different angles. It's nice. I think while it has the blocky aspect, it's got character to it. And so it feels... It's one step above, And I think to render it in 3D for a full episode, when we eventually get to that, it'll be weird because it probably has no maneuverability at all, and it's not designed for fast space flights. It'll be kind of fun to see it. We're just cruising along very slowly, and then see a Delta Fly just zoom past it at the height of the fast lane because it can't keep up. But yeah, I hope to see a Prometheus sequel because it's there somewhere.
Yeah.
Just in the background as an early Easter egg. Yeah, that is it on the Nostromo. If you guys enjoyed this first look / review of this ship, then please comment down below what you think. If you design the ship and you watch the episode, please let us know. If you're the model maker, if you work at any level of the production, let us know your thoughts and your answers to some of the questions we might have had. Please do put them in the comments below. And if you want to support this show, the 2 amazing ways. The first way, Stuart, is... Which way is he going to pick?
Just share the video around.
There's 3 ways.
Yes.
Sharing.
The second way would be to click our Patreon link in the description below. Help us out on a monthly basis. Would be very greatly appreciated. Yes. Like we've always said, if everybody just donates $1, we'd be happy. And it would definitely help out.
And obviously we are together for a few special Fleetyards episodes. Hope you've enjoyed the bonus chemistry and just the weird that we're in the same box. Because there's only one box in this episode. Weird.
It's not big enough for both of us.
No.
I meant ego-wise.
And oh well, yeah, your ego's protruding.
Personality-wise.
Ego. And support us on Trekyards.com. Click the donate button and give a one-time donation if you think you want to give us a tip or a thank you for any of the episodes you've enjoyed. So until next time, guys, another great Fleetyards, and there's some really good ones coming up. Stuart, I hope you're excited.
Very.
There you go. Till next time, guys, I'm Connor Coggins.
And I'm Captain Foley.
See you next time.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.